Welcome to Preschool Storytime with Librarian Jeanne. That's me, Librarian Jeanne. It's good to see you. Let's start with our hello song. Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you today? Well, I'm pretty good, but I couldn't hear you. Now, adults, why don't you sing along with your children so that they get the tune and the words? That's very important to hear you model what they're doing. Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you today? That was much better. So, this is for the adults too. Today's books focus on the Common Core domain of language and literacy. The first book is a fairy tale, and the other one is a modern version of a traditional rhyme or song. And all those things are really important to broaden your child's understanding of literature. Okay? So, but before we get to the books, I brought my little red house. Here it is. Look around you and see what you can see that's red. I don't have any red on today. And in the little red house, there is a little yellow house. Again, look around and see what my notes are on yellow paper, but you can't see that. And in the little yellow house, there is a little green house. Now, as usual, behind me, there's some green. I think it's getting a little towards winter, and maybe I won't be able to do my story times outside very much longer. But today I still have my green behind me. And in the little green house, there is a little blue house. A little bit of blue on my shirt collar, and also here, underneath, my undershirt is blue. And in the little blue house, there is a little pink house. And in the little pink house, there is a little gray house. On my plaid, this looks gray. It's a combination of the white and the black squares. Makes gray. And in the little gray house, there is a little purple house. If I sit up straight, you can see I have a purple shirt too. And in the little purple house, there is a little orange house. And last but not least, in the little orange house, there is a little white house. What do you think's in the little white house? Shall we look? Yeah, I don't know if you can tell what that is. It's a pea. Because a pea that you eat, that's because our first story is about the princess and the pea. There it is, The Princess and the Pea. And it's a bilingual book, and the Spanish title is La Princesa y el Guisante. Adaptation by Francesc Boada, illustrated by Pau Estrada, published by Chronicle Books, and used with their permission. Now, usually we say written by or by. This one says adaptation by, and that's because it's a traditional story, and it wasn't written down originally, and the author adapted it to this book. Francesc Boada adapted it. Now, I'm not going to read the Spanish part of it, but if you want, you can. This part of a series of 4 books that are fairy tales and are in both Spanish and English. The Princess and the Pea. Once upon a time, there was a prince who wished to marry a princess, but he wanted to be sure She was a true princess. So the prince climbed onto his horse and set out across the world to find a true princess to marry. What do you think he was looking for to find out if she was a true princess? Let's see if they tell us. He traveled many lands. There were many princesses, but it was so difficult to know if they were true princesses. There was always something that didn't seem quite right. So without a bride, the prince returned to the palace, sad and discouraged. One night, there was a terrible rainstorm. The wind howled and water poured down in torrents. The thunder boomed and lightning crackled in the sky. In the midst of all this, there was a knock at the palace door. The king himself went down to see who was there. Look at that storm. Who do you think it might be? The king couldn't believe his eyes. Standing before him was a shivering princess, drenched by the storm. Water cascaded down her hair and dress and came out her shoes. She was so wet, she looked more like a fountain than a princess. But in spite of all this, she claimed to be a true princess. There she is, all bedraggled by the storm. When the queen heard the news, she thought, very soon we'll know if she's a true princess. Without telling anyone, the queen went up to the bedroom and placed a pea on the bed. Then she covered the pea with 20 mattresses filled with wool and 20 mattresses filled with feathers. It's a lot of mattresses, 20 with wool and 20 with feathers. That's 40 mattresses on the bed. The princess spent the night on this very tall bed. The next day, the queen asked the princess how she had slept. Very poorly, answered the princess. I hardly slept at all. There was a terrible lump in the mattress, and now I'm covered with bruises. What a night! What do you think made all those bruises and kept her up all night? On hearing this, the queen realized that the princess was indeed a true princess. In spite of the 20 wool mattresses and 20 feather mattresses, she had been uncomfortable because of a pea. As everybody knows, only a true princess could be so delicate. So the prince and the princess married. As for the pea, it was taken to a museum, and probably it's still there, unless someone ate it. Look at that little bitty pea that kept the princess awake all night. So that's the story of the princess and the pea. Now, our next book is a version of the song we're going to sing. We're going to sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm. I bet you know that one. Think about the animals you might have on a farm. I've got a list, but let's see which ones we want to think about. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O, with a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo-moo. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. What else is on Old MacDonald's farm? I think a pig next. What do you think? Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he had a pig, E-I-E-I-O. With an oink oink here and an oink oink there, here an oink, there an oink, everywhere an oink oink. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Let's do one more at least. How about a chicken? Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he had a chicken, E-I-E-I-O. With a cluck cluck here and a cluck cluck there, here a cluck, there a cluck, everywhere a cluck cluck. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. So we did a cow and a pig and a chicken. What other animals do you think they have on the farms? I think horses and ducks. What else? They probably have dogs and cats on most farms anyway. You can think about it and you can sing that song with all the different animals that you like. But this book is called Old MacDonald Had a Truck by Steve Getz, illustrated by Ida Catan, published by Chronicle Books and used with their permission. Let's see how different it is. Ooh, there's the farm tools in there. Oops. Old MacDonald Had a Truck by Steve Getz, illustrated by Ida Caban, and published by Chronicle Books and used with their permission. Well, there he is. There's Old MacDonald's farm, and what's he driving? Whoops, a truck. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had an excavator, E-I-E-I-O. With a dig dig here and a dig dig there, here a dig, there a dig, everywhere a dig dig. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had well, there's a sheep and a rooster and a duck or a chicken and some little ducks. What did he have? A front loader. With a scoop scoop here and a scoop scoop there. Here a scoop, there a scoop, everywhere a scoop scoop. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had what do you think? What do you think's next? A bulldozer. With a push push here and a push push there, here a push, there a push, everywhere a push push. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had a motor grader. Whoa, look at that one. That's a big one. With a scrape rake here and a rake scrape there. Here a scrape, there a rake. Everywhere a scrape rake. You see he's got, this motor grader has a rake and it scrapes and it rakes. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had a dump truck. with a dump trump here and a dump thump there. Here a dump, there a thump, everywhere a dump thump. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had looks like they're having a picnic, a steamroller with a squish smash here and a squish smash there. Here a squish, there a smash, everywhere a squish smash. That's that big heavy roller that makes things flat. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had a cement mixer with a spin whirl here and a spin whirl there. Here a spin, there a spin, everywhere a spin whirl. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm, he had a popcorn stand? I don't know. A truck. It's going fast. And then they're going home, it looks like. And there again are all the tools and the signs that old MacDonald used on his farm. So that's how you can make a traditional song, Old MacDonald Had a Farm, into Old MacDonald Had a Truck. I hope you enjoyed that. And that was our last book for today. And so we're gonna sing If You're Happy and You Know It, and we'll wave goodbye. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, wave goodbye. Goodbye. If you're happy and you know it, wave goodbye. Goodbye. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, wave goodbye. Goodbye. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Goodbye. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Goodbye. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, do all three. Goodbye. So, goodbye, folks. That's the end of our story time for today. I'll see you next week for another preschool story time with Librarian Jeanne. Meanwhile, you can sign up for story time, preschool story time on Zoom every Friday, followed by Tales to Tales. Go to our website, www.santacruzpl.org, and look for those events and sign up, and then you'll get a Zoom link and you'll be able to listen to stories and read to dogs. That'll be a lot of fun. Bye-bye.